endless possibilities stretched out before you.
Trust in your own power.
Whatever happens from now on, you stand firm and face your destiny without fear, but with courage.
What's up, much It's your Kid Rose Chaos Gaming. And this could divide or make people unsubscribe, because this is going to be talking about a much more touchier subject, at least within the internet sphere. The internet, I'd say internet gaming sphere. Now, before we start anything, I'm not going to say what you should and what you shouldn't think. Your personal beliefs are your personal beliefs, and I will respect all beliefs. You know, and stuff like that. You want to have your political discourse on anything? The only thing I'm going to be asking you to do is just listen. Just listen and understand how, as we are. I think that most women on the internet get unnecessary hate. You know. Now I'm not gonna. Now I understand that the biggest, loudest minority is the cause of that. Now I'm not gonna lie. Someone like Amaranth, the streamer, has done some pretty crazy, I wouldn't say heinous, but really bad and controversial stuff, especially comparing herself to black racists, in which she gets kicked out of the gym, which is something you should probably not do. So that's not good. I understand that's what people see, and that's what people perceive as, female streaming content, but just like content, it's just like the real world. It depends where you go, what nexus you go to. If you're terminally online all the time, and you're a dopamine fiend, then you're gonna go where dopamine fiend places are. Energy attracts and polarity attracts each other, and when you go to those places, that's what you're gonna find. It's the same thing with people that complain about they can't find a decent person to date. It's not that you can't find a decent person to date. It's really just because you keep going to places that attract bad and vile energy. Now, with that being said, I think most of the stuff, the hate that women get on the internet, is also a project of self-projection. We get on Twitter now, and since certain content's allowed on there, OnlyFans putting their full-fledged, stuff on the internet. We goon so much that we've lost respect for women to a point where, and that's what's gonna happen when you start itemizing people and itemizing and fetishizing stuff. That you really get to a point where it's not even about respect. You just want to get off. It doesn't matter how it's done or why or anything like that. And that's the mindset. That's the mindset that that's the mindset that's causing us to go find people that are fucked up. Because if we're fucked up ourselves, everyone else we're gonna meet is fucked up. You attract your equal. If there's something wrong with your mental state, then you're gonna find people with the wrong mental state. So it's just one of those self-projection things. And then also lately on the internet, the culture has become more right-wing conservative. To a point where now it's about chasing the idealism of conservatives rather than believing in making families and anything. It's actually far as about fear and bigotry, because that's what the ideals changed to. It hasn't because the original conservatives were just all about family, keeping order, and all that stuff. We don't no longer have that. And social media is to blame. Like I said, if every day people just log off social media for a day, they'll see how much of their reality has changed. They'll understand. And it goes for both sides too. That's why there's so many extremes on both the right and left when it comes to views. And when it comes to like the OnlyFans, attractive video game characters, uglyfying, because the ugly, even for like the Goonergate people, they're just as extreme as the anti-Goonergate. It's almost became Gamergate 2.0 because of that stuff. Because if we just stepped outside just for once, touch grass for a whole day, log off social media, clean our room, clean our bedroom, go to the gym, do something productive, we wouldn't have this kind of stuff. We wouldn't have, people at each other's throats or this unneeded hatred. And then also, you gotta understand, it's about where you look. There are good female streamers out there that are legit streamers. I personally watch Mars Girl. I like Mars Girl's content. I watched her Elden Ring, her Dark Souls stuff, and then she's doing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And, I like her stuff. She legitimately just sits down, plays video games, and talk to her chat. You know? And there is some, I would say, a little bit more spicier, streamers that I'd follow. The one spicier streamer I follow is actually a decent human being. And Treventus. Yeah, she does have a little spicy side to some of the content that she puts out there, but she's a decent person. She'll talk to you. She'll never treat you like a drone or anything like that. Those are the two examples of good streamers that I found. But it's just you taking a look at the ones that aren't getting a whole bunch of views. Because the ones who's getting a lot of views, let's be honest, is mostly getting a negative attention. And for people that get negative attention, let's be honest, it's going to be the same thing over and over with it, Like I said, you're going in spaces where there's a lot of, dopamine fiends. And dopamine is an addiction as well. That's why most people sleep by their phones during bed. But I think, like I said, the part of us that hate the women online as also, besides conservative culture, is because, again, we're addicted to gooning. Most of us have at least touched the hub. I'm not gonna say what it is. In a Twitter, and I bet you, and don't lie to yourself and say you didn't. But I bet one of you guys in my comments has subscribed to OF once in your lifetime before. Don't lie and say you didn't. You did. You did, or at least you went to Google and looked up free stuff. Either way, you gooned. It doesn't matter who you are. You goon. You goon so much that it's about feeling good rather than try to fix our own mindset. Because the stuff we put in our mindset, that's what rules us. That's what controls us, is the stuff we put in our mind every single day. The podcasts we watch, the entertainment we consume, the books we read, and even the food we put in our own bodies. So that's exactly why this stuff's important to look at. It just takes a whole lot to look at and to have the inner look, the shadow work, the inner look, the inner look in ourselves. If we did that more often, we would be much better people. Ask ourselves, what's wrong with us? Why do we feel this way? Why do we feel angry? Why do we wake up pissed off every single day? Is it a dopamine addiction that we can't feed? Is it us eating junk food? Did I do nothing all day because I smoked weed? If you just ask yourself these questions, you'd be fine. You'd be where you are. But it's also, you can look for girl streamers that are decent people. But not just only people. What your mindset is what you'll find. If you're just looking for nothing but goon material, you'll find it. And it goes to the same for these extreme social justice warrior types, where these people try to look for a problem in something. And same thing with the hardcore Christians back in the 90s, where they said they find the devil in everything. And then, to no shock, their house gets haunted because they look for that stuff. But if you go out of your way to ignore that stuff and focus on the good, your mindset will change. But that just takes work to do that, because we're so desensitized to negativity, because sensationalized culture has made us believe the things we do. Now it's an us or them mentality. We don't like this group of people because a whole lot of people don't like this group of people. So it's just become, if you have the popular opinion, then you're the cool guy. You're cool at every table. But it robs us of taking a look inside of ourselves and inspire a healthy change. You know, having certain kind of mindsets is what messes things up. And like I said, if you just get off the mainstream pages of Twitch or YouTube or TikTok and just search for what we want specifically, we'll find what we want. You know, it don't have to just be one kind of thing. And it doesn't help that sensationalism is what drives the narrative. And personally, I think the type of streamer women like Amaranth with the hot tub stream and all that stuff, I think the only reason why it gets as big as it is because, doing negative things for attention is what drives you to get any kind of fame and notoriety. We're no longer living the day and age of talent. And that goes for guys too. That's why you see the only like male streamers out there that's really getting anything would be people like Neon and people like that, Sneeko and all that stuff because, it's no longer about talent. It's about who can catch attention because we live in an attention deficit, mindset because we're distracted by everything. We can't keep focus on anything. So we need something that gets an instant thing, and that's, I love TikTok for what it is, but TikTok has put some of that mindset in our head, and we gotta unprogram ourselves. I don't think that TikTok should ever get banned because there are businesses that use TikTok, and there are some good avenues. In fact, I discovered the carnivore diet that I'm currently on through TikTok, and I'm happy. I have a much lighter mindset. My mindset is of light instead of dark, and that's because I'm doing what's natural. Because the carnivore diet's what's natural for your body. And it isn't just meat for people who don't understand. It's just your traditional meats, fruits, no bread. You will need to use butter, but butter has healthy fats in it, so you will use butter a whole lot. But it's again, if it's what you put in your mind, it's what you'll search for. Think of the internet. If you put something in Google, the algorithm's going to put more into what you search up. What's the same thing with our mindset? What we think about, what's done in the dark will be done in the light. What we think about in the dark will come to the light. It's like this. You go to work and your female coworkers feel uncomfortable around you. It's most likely because you've gooned. It's most likely because you took the reason why you're gooning is because something bad happened in your life. You don't want to go into that dark place, and I understand. Trauma is a very dark place. I can understand that, but you gotta understand this. You have to go in those dark places and face your demons. You have to go face the dark link in your head. Because if you do not go face your shadow, your shade, what's gonna happen is it will consume your mindset to a point where there is no return. So I'm just saying, keep an open mind of why you feel the way you do. And keep an open mind that understand that not every situation is exactly the same. Not every female streamer is trying to be controversial and gooning material. And the stuff that you see online is sensationalism at its best, made to drive fear and chaos because that's what they want. The thing is, there are good people. There may not as much as bad people, but there are a lot of good people if you just filter out the bad. If you filter out negativity, you'll meet the good people. You go to the gym, you eat right, you put the right things in your mind, you'll meet people that can actually truly help you out. But you have to let go of all negativity. Even the programming that you put in your head, because social media has sensationalized what you should be afraid of. And I'm just saying, have an open mind when it comes to female streamers. Just have an open mind before reacting. Ask yourself if something is the truth, Ask yourself, is it something in my head? Or do I need to go outside, get some fresh air? But just ask yourself those questions before hyper overacting and hyper fixation. May the crystal bless you.